What is up, everybody? You know how it goes. It's your boy B back with another video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not already, man, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. If you don't know who I am, my name is Brandon Jones, and I specialize in helping you make an extra income. And today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about not only why, but how I got started phone flipping. How I got started, why you should get started, and this is something highly requested. I've done this before, but it was a while ago, and I think it's important for me to touch on this because if you're watching this, you might not know who I am. You might not know anything about me, right? I quit my job in high school. Well, no, excuse me. I didn't quit my job in high school. I got fired from Sam's Club because I was too young to work. But I lied about my age. I got through. I was working for around 3 months, and it was awesome. Working and being in high school was really hard because I had to actually literally leave school at times to get to work on time. The schedules wasn't scheduling. It wasn't working, right? But me personally, I was just so geared towards wanting that responsibility and wanting some money. My mother, it's funny, she didn't really give me much when it came to money. That was just to give me. She would give me money if it was needed, but not really just give me money, right? And that really taught me that I needed to hustle and get money myself. So I got this job, ended up getting fired. I remember standing in the parking lot of Sam's Club at 8 p.m. after I just got let go and crying to my friend at the time, Dominique. I called, and it was a guy, believe it or not. So I called him, like, yo, I'm fired. I was a cool kid with all the money. And then it just all got taken away from me. And I was like, I'm fired. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I don't know how, I don't know, bro, why did they do this to me? You would think the world was over. And I remember honestly feeling like I wasn't anything. And after the emotion from me getting fired settled, I was only 18 at the time, but no, I wasn't 18. I was 16, excuse me. I was 16 at the time. And when this came over me and all the emotion ended up going away, I promised myself I would never put somebody in a position to do that to me again. Right? And that hurt me really bad because I needed that money for lunch money. I needed that money for basketball shoes. I needed that money for a lot of different things, you know what I mean, that I wasn't being given. And it was taken from me, and I did my job, and I was good at it. So with that happening, that ignited a huge hustle in me. Okay? And from there, me and my friend Dominique that I called on that phone, we started trying to find different ways to get money. So we started out with the whole do surveys to get money. So we used to be sitting at my house every day after school trying to do surveys to get a little bread. Then we went to doing different things with Bitcoin before Bitcoin was big. Then we went into the dark web and tried to search for things on the dark web. Then after that, he came to me, my friend Dominique came to me with this idea of Wake Up Now. And I remember me at the time just feeling so discouraged because everything we tried, it was giving us some money but not enough. And I already knew what money was. I knew at 16 getting about $2,000 a month how much, I knew what money was, and it ended up intriguing me. So I ended up doing it, and I remember going to different developments. So developments are groups of houses in Jersey. They have developments. They might have them where you're at too. But we went to different developments, and I remember because we were on the ball team too, so we would go and knock on the door and be like, hey, we're from such and such school, and we're doing a fundraiser because we won our tournament, and we're trying to raise funds to go to Florida. But really, we were just trying to raise funds to be able to just sign people up under us. And we would do this, and then we started actually being serious and getting people into school to sign up, and we made some money, right? But that wasn't making me satisfied. So what I did was I started every day at school, instead of paying attention to anything my teachers would say, I would create business plans over and over and over. Business plans on how to start a club, how to start the first electric car before Tesla came out, like just a whole bunch of business plans. And every day I would pass them out to my teachers, every day. And it got so bad that I got suspended from school twice. One time for using all of the paper in the library, and then the second time was because parents kept calling the school asking what Wake Up Now was, because that's how hard I was promoting it to people. And this is where like I got my like hustle. Like I started to learn like, okay, all of these kids in school, they're buying into me. Like they really want to be a part of this Wake Up Now stuff, selling energy drinks and all of this. And my teachers at the time seemed like they were going through my business plans, and they really weren't. But it was like at this age, at 17, trying to do all of this instead of chasing after girls and stuff, like that really showed me like I have something. And as I grew up on it and kept developing and growing in both Wake Up Now and also me trying to establish and try to find what type of business I could create, it was time to graduate. And when I was time to graduate, I'll never forget me and my mom having an argument. And my mom looking at me, and I remember where I was and everything. So my mom was in my door frame, and I was in my room, and we were arguing about something that I did at school. And she was like, you ain't never gonna graduate. You ain't never gonna graduate. And boy, was she wrong. I graduated, right? And, you know, I think that is when I felt like my mom gave up on me. And I felt like I had to prove her wrong. I graduated. Now, was she wrong? No, because I was skipping school and skipping class to actually work on my business. So, like, my grades were crappy. But, like, I didn't want to learn how to speak Spanish. I wanted to learn how to manage my money so that I can invest into a business. I wanted to learn how to develop a business plan, how to do a presentation, how to create a orders of operation, how to manage my taxes. I wanted to learn that stuff. I graduated. I didn't get to walk though, but I did graduate. And my mom was like, okay, cool, you graduated. Now it's either college or out my house. And that was a hard part in time for me, because I didn't want to be there anyway, right? But it sort of kind of rushed me out a little bit more than what I would have liked. And I ended up coming to Philly. And when I came to Philly, I was 18, I believe. 18, I came to Philly not even a week after graduating high school. Like I didn't even get to like, you know, graduate high school and just like bask in it. Like after that Wake Up Now thing that I was talking about earlier, I kept doing that. And the guy Dominique, he quit. He stopped doing it. But I kept going. I got my cousin into it. Anybody that came around me. And I started doing like little presentations for people in my grandmother's house. And I remember one time I did this presentation at my grandmother's house, and a lot of people came. And my grandmother didn't know. I wouldn't even ask her. I just did it, right? I was just a crazy behind young man, okay? Like you're inviting strangers into your grandmother's house, right? To sit on her beautiful couches and stomp on her beautiful rug, right? And I would use her TV as the presentation board. And one time, okay, after the meeting, everybody would leave. And I would, you know, wish everybody, you know, a safe evening. And as I walked out, a Sprint guy, a owner of a Sprint store, came up to me and was like, hey, I want to know how I can make money doing this. I didn't know he was with Sprint at the time, right? So I'm like, you can make money just how I said, my man. Join the team, man. Join my team, buddy. And, you know, I'm going to help you build your team, and we're going to do it, right? So he was like, well, is there a way that I can help you and you help me? I'm like, what you mean? So everybody in your team, they can get on a business plan, and we can give them a discounted plan, and in return you put them under me, and we were just building this whole thing. So we started to do it, and everybody on my team got a discounted Sprint plan, and it was like $50 a month for unlimited everything, and a new phone. Like, it was crazy, right? So it was working well, and I kept getting people, right? So it got to a point where he hit me up. He's like, hey, you're really good at this. I want you to come work for me. So I came to work for him, and what I mean by I came to work for him, I was still sort of kind of doing Wake Up Now, but I was really intrigued at that point when I saw, oh, I'm in it with somebody that owns a Sprint store, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, well, this may be an opportunity for me to own a Sprint store, right? So he's like, yeah, what I want you to do is I want you to be my business rep. I want you to go out in the streets and get me people. And that's what I did. I would go out in the streets, get people on this $50 plan. I would be out in the streets. I would be at Broad and Alany, which is like a not too safe place. I would be on Broad Street. I would be out hustling. So all I knew, hustle, right? And every time I would get somebody, I believe I was able to keep the $50 that they paid initially, and he would then in return just let me keep that, and then he would get the service and all of that. So to fast forward, I started to think to myself, okay, I'm getting 30 people every 2 days, 3 days, and in my head I'm like, yo, how can I scale this? Because at the time I had a car, but the car that I had wasn't representing what I wanted to represent, right? It wasn't, I had a Nissan. It was a white Nissan, and around here at that time, Nissans were girl cars, you know what I mean? And my Nissan, I crashed it, so it had like a black hood on it, and it stopped at every light because I crashed it. It was really bad, but I needed a new car. I'll never forget this. And I told the guy, I'm like, yo, listen, I need to make more money because I need a new car. Like, I can't keep pulling up to business meetings in this car. So one day he was like, okay, I'm gonna give you all of the money I make off of everybody you give me for, I think it was like 2 days. Guys, I made around $9,000. And in my head I was thinking to myself, how the heck is he making all of this money? So this whole time I'm just getting $50 per person, and you making all of this bread. So I was like, I feel like he holding me back. He holding me down. Like I'm working for him, but this is giving a little Sam's Club vibe. So, cause I already knew at the end of the day, like, I could be disposable. So I remember saying to him, like, yo, put me on. Like, can I get in the store? Like, can I actually come in and like work in? And he would always be like, well, you'll make more money outside. And then I realized, well, he's technically paying me under the table. It's not a real secure position for me. I don't really want to do this for a living. So I started to think, what if I can buy my own phones? So I started to take the money I made, instead of buying a car, I went and I started to start my own business accounts with Sprint, right? Because I could create business accounts. So I started my own business accounts, and then I would sell the service myself. Ended up making around $30,000, and this is no lie, $30,000. And from that $30,000, I'll never forget, I pulled up in a brand new Nissan Maxima that current year, whatever year it was. And when I pulled up, God only knows how I just wish I can go back to that moment. Because I didn't know how powerful I was at that moment. See, it's a power when you show people that no matter how bad they forget about you, or they try to put you last, or they give up on you, or they treat you like scum, when you show them that no matter what, I'm gonna get this shit done, and then you pull up and something flying and everybody there. I remember walking in, and I was so young. I walked in, everybody looking at me. Because I ain't tell nobody I got a new car. I didn't tell nobody nothing. Because I'm grinding. Guys, they were so amazed. And that was the last day I went to that location. Because I went there, and I forgot why I went to the store exactly. But I went to the store, I left, and then I decided I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to make my own money. And that's when I started flipping phones without even knowing it. But I didn't flip phones to buyers. I flipped phones to consumers. I would just keep my money going and moving. And buying phones from people, reselling. Buying phones, reselling. And I would sell service too. And then I took that money and got a storefront. And when I got that storefront, I had a whole bunch of personal things going on in my life. Like I had a kid and all that stuff, because I thought it was big money. And I ended up losing that store because I did not know how to be a boss. I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know how to be nice to employees. I just was a very immature boss. And I lost that storefront. I got into a partnership with two people, and they scammed me into thinking that it was just going to be them as my partners when they signed their whole family up as my partners. And I ended up having to do a revenue split with like 20 people, and I lost my business. And that's when I sort of kind of gave up on the storefront for a while, and I started to reselling the products from that storefront. Because since I lost it, I was like, I might as well grab my products and leave. And I grabbed my products and left, start eBay. And I started to start to resell, and I started realizing I don't even need a storefront. And I started to make $500 a day on eBay. Then I started to make money on Amazon, and I had money from Amazon, eBay, MERCARI at the time was something I just did not pay attention to for some reason. But I just started to make money from phone flipping and from reselling, and to the point to where I cleared my first 5-figure month before I was 21 years old. And when I was 22 years old, I was making easily 6 figures every, and I was making 6 figures a year. And I was living in a penthouse. I was living really, really good. I wasn't working in any store. I was laying on my butt, just relaxing and chilling. But it was boring. So I went and got a storefront. I crashed that new car that I got, hit a deer. Crashed that car, lost my car, and then I went and got a Jeep, and that was the Jeep that everybody sees me in now. But that is how I started, y'all. And I really didn't want to go through that whole story, because I was like, ain't nobody gonna watch this crap. But like, as I'm sitting here thinking about it literally right now, it's like whoever needed this, they needed it, and I'm here for it. And I'm going through a hard period right now, and I needed to tell you that. I needed to say that story, because like the hard period I'm going through right now, which I'm gonna talk about on Educatedhustler vlogs, which is my vlogging channel, which I need to post on. I have so many videos I just haven't posted because I've been depressed, but I'm gonna post. But I recently lost everything. I recently lost everything that mattered to me. Like, I lost my why. I lost my support that I thought I had. I lost that all. Right before the New Year's, I was told everything was separating, and I lost it all. And I'm not gonna go too in depth or you know, get too emotional about it, but I just want to say, like, I lost that all, just like I lost my storefront, just like I had to get lost when I was working for that guy with Sprint. But like, as I sat there and just talked to you guys and told you guys how I started, I was forgotten about, betrayed, hurt, ever since Sam's Club, ever since Sprint, ever since my mom told me I wasn't gonna graduate, ever since she told me either either college or you know, out of her house. And every single time I bounced back, you know. So whoever's going through anything, just know you can bounce back. I was recently giving up on a completely unexpected, hurtful, low point in my life. My Jeep, a car I loved, just like the new Nissan that I crashed and hit a deer. That car, the transmission went out. It was costing me thousands of dollars every 2 months, and I had to let that Jeep go. I thought I was about to move in a house closer to my kids' school, but the other person didn't want to be with me or do that with me. Out of nowhere. But all of this stuff I'm saying because I lost a lot back then, just like I'm losing a lot now. And as an entrepreneur, you lose a lot unexpectedly. It's always something, but it's all about your bounce back and how you come back and how you get back. And you can do it, just like I did. You can do it. We can do it. So whoever needed this, I'm so happy to have recorded this, and I hope you guys continue to thrive. That's how I started phone flipping and reselling, and that's, you know, why you guys see me going so hard today. I started filming on YouTube because I was at my store and one of my friends said, yo, you should start actually teaching people how to do this, because like literally the product is your brain. Like, you got everything in your head, and boy was they right. So that's why I started this, and I've never looked back, guys, and this is something that makes me the happiest. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. We're going to continue to make this money and continue to be the best version of ourselves. And yep, I'll see you guys at the top. Too crowded at the bottom. Peace.